Our project is to educate populations so they can better understand coral reefs and their importance. So what do you know about coral reefs?
Essentially our ecosystems to marine life and stuff like that.
All coral is actually animals.
Okay.
And the way that it lives is with little algae called zooxanthellae that live inside of it. So coral and the algae that live inside of it are an obligate relationship. So the algae basically does photosynthesis and provides nutrients to the coral, and the coral provides a shelter for the algae.
Okay.
So when coral gets stressed, it can expel its algae, and if that happens, it will bleach. And this puts it at a vulnerable state, and if it doesn't get it back, it can die. The rainforest of the sea, so 25% of our marine fish come from coral reefs alone. Okay, when you see this, what do you see?
Garbage.
So not only do we have solid waste in the ocean, but we also have nutrient enrichment. So coral reefs actually is a paradox. So it's a very thriving community, but it's very nutrient poor. If you put too much nutrients in the water, algae will develop.
Unnecessary.
Right. And so if that happens, a phase shift will happen. It'll go from coral dominance to an algae dominant. And if it goes that way, it's an irreversible phase shift. Nutrient enrichment comes from things like sewage and runoff, and in that runoff we have antibiotics, pesticides, toxic chemicals, heavy metals. How long do you think it takes for this fishing line to decompose?
2 years or so?
600 years.
Ugh,
Yeah.
that's way off. Yeah, actually with dropping your anchor, is there any way to identify where a coral reef is? Because sometimes one might be really deep below and you won't be able to see it.
Well, most coral reefs actually have to live within the first 200 meters because of their photosynthesis.
Okay.
So you should be able to see them from the water. If you're playing in a tropical area, you should ask the locals where the corals are, because they should know, especially if you're taking a tour or something.
Mm-hmm.
But you should be able to see them from the top. You'll kind of see a darker color.
Right.
And if you just stick your face in, you'll be able to see. They're trying to implement these mooring buoys where it's basically they dig a hole and they put a huge permanent anchor down, and then it's just a line to a floaty. So the boat doesn't actually ever have to drop an anchor. They just attach right here.
Ah, okay.
So yeah.
That's a good idea
Yeah.
too. When spring break rolls around and you see the week after,
Right.
it's disgusting. It's
Right.
absolutely disgusting. So yeah, this is good that you guys are going around sharing information like this.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. I like it.
Photosynthetic bacteria that live within inside the coral that aid them.
I did not know that. If they could somehow engineer that into human cells, that could solve world hunger.
What do you see when you see this in the water?
Yeah, I just see potential sources of building block materials just laying the waste in the water that could be used, recycled, and to create something else. You really wanted to save lives. Save the coral reef so that people get to live in Asia. Save the environment because the environment is the only thing keeping economic growth going.
What's some things that you can do?
Start planting new corals to support zero carbon stuff.
We walked around the beach for an hour, almost 2 hours, and we picked up over 21 pounds of trash. And that's just stuff that if we didn't pick it up, that's going to end up going into the ocean and polluting the environment.
Also would increase tourism revenue if you were to keep the beaches clean.
Nobody wants to go to a dirty beach.
Is it just big pieces of plastic, or is it just is it all what all's in it?
It's usually microplastic. So it's a really large gyre full of microplastic.
Refrigerators
No.
flowing out.
No. It's like pieces of the refrigerator.
I actually didn't know about the hepatitis thing.
Yeah, so it says 2.5 million people are infected this yearly from the oysters.
Tourists leave all their beer cans and cigarette butts and
And cigarette butts also take 1 to 5 years to decompose.
just get rid of the humans,
Yeah. Well.
and the world will fix itself.
If we lose the coral reefs, there goes the marine species that all these industries are utilizing to make money. It's hitting environmentally, it's hitting economically.
What do you think you can do?
Clean up your trash.
And also for those places that live close to them, it's protection. Coral like this palmata that live on the reef crest, they provide a barrier. So high wave energy will come in and these coral will absorb it so it doesn't reach the shoreline. We don't have coral reefs here, so a lot of people don't think about coral reef pollution in this area because they don't see it happening anywhere near them. What do you see when you see this?
A baby turtle dying.
We don't get to see and enjoy their beauty, but they are very important to our ecosystem, and if we lose them, we lose not only something beautiful that we can go visit and dive, but something that provides a livelihood for billions of people.
That's actually very informative.
Oh, good.
There's a lot of things I didn't know.